The slave trade is now considered to be a relic of the past. Many people think that this is a violation of human rights, which everyone turned a blind eye at. That shouldn't have happened, and some people still remember this time with horror because it was the hardest stage of their ancestors' entire life. There were people who were willing to fight for their fate and freedom, but there were also those who accepted their fate and died in chains. And today, I will tell you a story about a girl named Harriet Tubman, Araminta Ross, who was born in 1822. But this date wasn't accurate. Why, you may ask? But the fact is that at the time, no one registered slaves and didn't give them documents. Like most slaves, her life was hard. At the age of 5, she was already working as a servant in the house. And at 12, she was sent to the field. There she got a serious injury. Once, she tried to save a slave from being beaten, but received a blow to the head for it. After this injury, she had health problems until her old age, accompanied by endless fainting spells. It's hard to imagine what a difficult life that slaves had because they didn't belong to themselves right after they were born. Life went on as usual. She worked 18 hours a day for a small bowl of porridge. At the age of 24, she married a free African-American man. The girl considered her husband the closest person, so she told him her old dream of freedom. And then she told him that she really wanted to run away to the north with him. But her husband didn't support her. On the contrary, he said that he would give her up for trying to escape if she decided to leave. And although it was considered a serious crime at that time, Harriet decided to fulfill her dream and escape from her masters. And she succeeded. She made her way through fields and woods, and only at night, so that no one would see her. A few months later, she reached the northern states of the United States, where African Americans no longer lived under the yoke of their masters and were free. She was happy that she had finally fulfilled her long-held dream, although deep down, she was worried about her family, who were thousands of miles away, so she made the drastic decision, go back and free them, no matter what the cost was. She found like-minded people, and with their help, she saved her sister and several nephews from the auction. Later, she also managed to free her brother and elderly parents. Authorities considered this egregious case, issued a law that allowed catching the runaway slaves and the detention of all those who managed to escape from their masters. It operated even in the states where slavery was abolished. However, this didn't frighten Harriet at all. It's known that in the 50s of the 19th century, Ross repeatedly returned to the South to save her people. For this, she received the nickname Moses. Young Harriet came up with many tricks to save her people and not be caught because just luck couldn't help her. One of these tricks was that all escapes were scheduled on a specific day, namely on Saturday night, since announcements of missing slaves appeared only on Monday. The woman had weapons and sleeping pills so that the children wouldn't betray their location by crying, and she often hooted like an owl to let them know that the road was clear. The revolver was for scaring off guards, an intimidating weapon for those who wanted to return. The revolver was for scaring off guards and intimidating weapon for those who wanted to return. After all, if there was even one such coward in their ranks, all of them would be doomed. Once, Harriet was on a train when she met one of the slave owners. It seemed that he could catch her, but Harriet was smart, and she pretended to read the newspaper, and the man passed by without even noticing her. Thanks to her ingenuity, that she got out of this train alive and unharmed. During the Civil War, the woman didn't give up trying to save the slaves. She wasn't only a nurse in the infirmary, but also a spy on the battlefield. And in her entire service, she freed more than 1,000 slaves. Harriet led a large group of partisans, and thanks to her efforts, the soldiers received a large amount of information. Despite all her services, the woman was paid very little. But the slave owners of the South estimated her head at $40,000. In her time, this is about $1 million. After slavery was abolished, Harriet moved to New York with her parents. She made a living performing in public. She later released a book about her life. This amazing woman was respected and revered by many people. It's difficult to imagine what she had to go through. Harriet, freeing many people, constantly risked her life, but she didn't give up. And after the war, she didn't miss a single rally where they defended the rights of African Americans. Harriet Ross is an incredible example of how our lives are in our hands, and we must live this way, independently of others. That's it for today. Write what your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you soon!